All right, folks. I'm going to try something a little bit today. We commonly get a lot of things on our TdDWeather Facebook page, and there are several items that just seem to be really hot topics. Those tend to blow up hugely, and several of us end up repeating ourselves over and over and over and over and over and over. And that's a little frustrating for a lot of us. However, we also realize that there are a lot of new people that join TdDWeather. There are a lot of people that are on the Facebook page that still really haven't experienced the races, or they are new enough that they really don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So I want to start a series of videos. If it fails utterly miserably, then maybe I won't. But if it attracts some interest and gets some information out there, then I'm going to continue these. So I see a few of you guys have popped in already. Quincy, Jonathan, how are you guys doing? Feel free to post some questions. I'm watching this behind my screen actually as I'm videoing this, so I can see any comments that you guys might have. Jump on in there and ask me anything you like. First video that I want to do, I want to concentrate, obviously, thanks to the wonderful Oklahoma weather that we have. I rode and sweated and almost was dehydrated in 70-degree weather yesterday, and now it's negative. I don't know what temperature it is. Hey, Marty, sorry, I have some in the fridge, but I got a little something going in here if that's okay. And it's not coffee. Thanks, David. I hope that was a good touch that you noticed that up there. So first is inclement weather. I just want to get information out there to everybody. Our standard operating procedure. We've been doing the same thing forever. It's the same plan, same procedure, same steps, same mechanism. Obviously, the weather varies, and we have to make some decisions at the last minute, but that is just par for the course. So that question that comes 6-7 days prior to the race already asking us if we're going to cancel the race. We're not going to answer that. We never know what it's going to be. We never know what the weather's going to hold. We never know how the course is going to hold up. We never know how many volunteers are going to be able to go out there and make that course right or not. Never know how close the weathermen are going to be. Sometimes they're right on point. Sometimes they're a little bit off. You never know. So our standard operating procedure is just this. The Saturday by noon, or close to that, as close as we can get, we are going to make a decision if it's necessary on whether we have the race or not. We will have the race. It's just a matter of whether we postpone and reschedule. Now then, there are a couple of events that we have. Turkey Mountain is one of them. And our last race of the season will very likely be the same, and that is they are a 2-day event. They have a Saturday schedule as well as a Sunday schedule. Therefore, we will make the decision for that on Friday at noon or a little bit after. So we will not speculate. We will not guess. We will not try to estimate unless something just catastrophic happens. Unless that happens, we will make our decision again Saturday at noon. In the case of Turkey coming up, it'll be Friday at noon. And we will let you guys all know right here on the TdDWeather Facebook page. And we will move on from there. See if I have some notes here. Couple things. The reason reinforce this, and I guess the reason that we're very strict with this, and that is because you get people asking these questions early on, and I get that they seem like harmless questions and you really want answers, but you never get answers because we're not going to answer you until we reach our point of Friday or Saturday at noon. However, all that guessing, all that speculating by all these people whenever you post something like that, all the 20 million Facebook apps or phone apps or things like that that tell the different weather, all that does is scare people off from an event. So we are pushing this not only from one, all the speculation is wasted effort, wasted time, but it's harmful to the promoters and to the people that, unfortunately, we have a lot of fair weather riders. If they suspect that there's any, tough course, muddy course, wet course, they don't like to come. So all that speculation, all that talk out on social media just scares them off. So that's why we like to hold that stuff back to a minimum, wait till the appropriate time. We will work perfect hand in hand with the promoter. I'll be on the phone with the promoters at every event that this is necessary, all the way through until they make the decision. I will help them all that I can. They will have people on the course, on foot, on bike, looking at the course, evaluating it, and they'll make the decision. Again, every course is different. You never know. Some courses are very multi-use, high use, very, courses you have to be careful with. There are other courses that are private. There are other courses that are in parks that have trail bosses where the sensitivity of the trail is not as high. So there are different variables that we have to deal with, and all the speculation that we get from a lot of you guys out there just really doesn't help. So hopefully the next time this gets asked, I can get this uploaded to my YouTube channel, and we can just drop a link in there, and we don't have to answer that question anymore. You can just replay this video. So that ends that. I want to cover one more thing before I close up here, and then I'll comment on a few things. Forrest, man, awesome to see you on Facebook. Yes, I've been working on this thing for 7.5 years now. Jess Parker, good to see you. Andrew Highbolt, thank you. What if it is rescheduled? Postponement. First of all, let me say that I can only recall, now there might be more that's just out of my recollection, but I can only recall one race right now that has not happened because of reschedule, and then just a huge mess over and over. I can only remember one race that was not rescheduled. So know that we're going to have these races. One race. So what happens if it is postponed, rescheduled? Again, standard operating procedure. We make the call. Once we make the call, honestly, if we know it's going to be upsetting weather and there's a possibility of a postponement behind the scenes, off of social media, privately, I'm already personally working with the promoter to develop a date. If we have a date or two, then we have those in our back pocket. And if we have to use those, then we use those. And that way we can make an announcement, usually within 1 to maybe 3 days. And we will have an announcement of the rescheduled date. Once that is done, then really that's pretty much it. Just a couple of things that always do come up, questions that come up, and that's the question of, well, what happens if I registered online? What does my registration go? What happens for it? If you registered online for the event, an event is postponed, then your fee, your cost, your registration is transferred to the new rescheduled date, and you're fine. Okay. Now then, get a lot of questions. Well, what if I can't make that date? I scheduled off on the original date. I can't make the original date. I want a refund. As long as we reschedule these races within a 90-day period, there really isn't a refund option. If we reschedule outside of the 90 days, or for whatever reason we can't have the event at all, then there is a refund availability. That can be initiated from either the racer online or from the promoter online. We hope that, and we ask that the racer initiates that online. You can go online and request that. Even if you can't go to a rescheduled date and it's within the 90 days, you still have the option to request a refund. It is then at that point up to the promoter whether they do that. They can do that online. If it's outside that 90 days, then we will see about making that happen and working with the promoter. But again, we ask that you request that online, because most of the time, and in fact, I would say the race that I have in mind in particular that 2 years ago did not make, I'm not sure that there was a single person that asked for a refund. Maybe a couple, 3. Most everybody just defaulted their payment. They know that these promoters go to a lot of work. A reschedule, and in this case, a cancellation, which is rare, is expensive. And so they had a lot of costs just trying to get this thing going, and most people just forfeit their fee. If there's any questions, you can comment on this later. I'll try to, like I said, I'll try to get this up to YouTube by tomorrow, and we'll see about making it available. And we'll go from there. Getting a lot of it's not a goatee, it's a full beard now. Come on, guys. Give me credit. I'm going to call it quits. Let's end that. I don't have any particular questions, just a few comments. Alan, I had a couple beers earlier. It's a little glass of wine. But I wanted to show off my cup, so enjoyed it. Hope you guys did too.